Yes, sir. We're back. It's another Barncast Live. What a dadgum weekend. What a dadgum weekend. Daryl Dapprich. It's Kyle Rush. Auburn takes down Kentucky. Mark Pope's mad. And Auburn baseball just kicked a bunch of A2 out in Arlington. And then USA wins gold in hockey. Is it a shootout? Was it it was in overtime, not
overtime, 3-on-3, which, man, I'm telling you, the talent Canada has, I thought that was a death knell. But, play Freebird. Let's go.
Play Freebird. I was going to open the show with it, but I was afraid that we'd get copyrighted. And then we have to pay ASCAP and all that other stuff. Man, big win Saturday night. It's exactly what Auburn needed. Auburn fans, us doing shows, doing these Barncasts, man, we really needed it too. And Mark Pope was not happy. He was not happy after the game. And I'm going to play some audio. So he comes on, and it was a really weird press conference. Like, he was mad talking. You know what I'm talking about when I say mad talking? It's like he's just angry talking, not yelling, but he's talking in a very mad manner. And as he's walking off, like the mic catches him saying some things, and I think you heard him say some things as well. But here's the little clip, and then we'll have some fun after this.
Those motherfuckers trying 5 6 school, man. They did not say a word about how they cheated us.
He said, if you couldn't hear, it's really hard. He says, Mitch, which I don't know who Mitch is, he says, if those MFers try to find me, screw them. Because I didn't say anything about how they tried or how they cheated us. And I assume he's talking about the officials and everything that went along with those few possessions that went in Auburn's favor. Finally, we get something to go our way. But yeah, what do you think about his reaction there? Is it justified, or is he just being sour?
Well, he extended that as he was walking down the hall. That's him leaving the presser as he's walking down the hall where you go to the buses and the players meet him and they get their boxes of food. He reiterated and continued what he said. I don't know if someone asked him what he said, and that's when he said, again, those MFers cheated us. So he said it leaving the press conference, and he said it walking down the hall, which, look, first of all, he's a weird dude anyway. There's just something really quirky about him. I have to say that I respect, and going back and looking how Auburn felt like there were a couple of games they got absolutely jobbed, the way Stephen Pearl handled that compared to Mark Pope. Mark Pope came across very whiny, very much like a little crybaby about that. And so, is that a call that an official typically makes in that point of the game? Probably not. But Kyle, I'm glad he did, because here's the narrative I'm sick of. And I've been saying this for years, and I'm probably in the minority. You know the old adage where they talk about referees putting whistles away late in games so they don't decide the outcome of a game. You've heard that since you've played, right? Yep. Whether it's football, basketball, hockey, whatever. When you don't blow the whistle on an obvious infraction, you're doing just that. You're determining the outcome of the game.
Good point.
So when people mistakenly and wrongly say, no, you don't want the officials to inject themselves into the game and make a call. If they don't make the call, they're still injecting themselves into the outcome of the game by not making the call. And I'm talking, if you call it 3 minutes into the first half, by God, you better call it with 30 seconds left in the game. And too many officials get caught up in that narrative and that unwritten rule of, I'm going to not decide this game. But by thinking that way, you end up deciding that game.
Yeah, and I think he said something about how that last foul felt personal. Like, I think that's exactly what he said, was that foul call felt personal, talking about the push-off that was as obvious as it could be. I mean, you're talking about elbow and extension. Sure, Overton may have sold it a little bit, but it was 100% a push and an extension. And he said it was personal. Like, is that a thing? Like, is Kentucky
have they been getting jobbed lately from referees, or is that just or is Mark Pope, is he a kind of a tinfoil hat guy, or what's going on there?
Kentucky has a reputation of being a darling. They feel like they have earned the right to have the benefit of the doubt because everyone should bow down and worship at the altar of Kentucky. And we know a football fan base that's similar to that.
Yeah.
So every call should go their way. And if you think I'm just saying that as opinion, Matt Jones, the radio host of Kentucky, years ago, posted the name, address, and occupation of an official that they felt like jobbed them in a particular basketball game. And it was not good. And so this guy had people go on his business and do fake, negative reviews. So they always have that. Look, did they feel like maybe somebody grabbed the Kentucky player by the jersey first, and then that's why he was trying to get separation and push off? I saw it in real time, and it's just too hard to tell. But you can't extend. You can do that and swipe down. You can do a lot of different things, but once you extend, and Kyle, you made a really good point on the Barncast, the watch along. I went back and watched the last 5 minutes. It's pure gold.
Yeah,
because I couldn't be with you guys.
That was fun.
If he hits him any higher in the body, that's a flagrant.
It could have been.
You can forearm shiver lower body. It's a common foul. You get up around the neck area, it's flagrant. So there was a phantom foul called on Tahad where the guy for Kentucky kicked his leg out, and they gave it was an awful call, and they kept showing it on and then like right after that, Murphy did a blow by and missed the guy trying to block the shot, and they called a foul. They missed 2 blatant foul calls that cost Auburn 5 points.
Well, I'm going to say this. I think the officiating, someone asked me, like, did I like the officiating just because it turned out in Auburn's favor? And no, I felt like they kind of missed some stuff on both sides. Like, I think it was, for the most part, I don't feel like the officiating really, I don't know. Sometimes you watch an SEC basketball game, or sometimes you watch a basketball game, and it's like they really try to insert themselves and get the TV time. I didn't leave that game feeling that way. I thought it was pretty well done. It's hard sometimes with the way these guys are trained to act and kick their legs and throw their head back. Like, I know in real time it's kind of tough, but I mean, to me, is 19 fouls and 14 fouls, is that way out of line for a basketball game? I don't think so.
No, and sometimes people look at foul differential and free throws and automatically make the assumption that the game's being called one-sided. Some teams' style lend themselves to shoot more threes so they don't get to the line.
Yep.
Some teams go to the line a lot, and that's what this was. I mean, the foul differential of 5. Now, look, at one point in the first half, it was 9-3. Okay, Auburn fouls to Kentucky. And I looked to the guy next to him. I said, get ready. And you blink, and it's 9-7. Okay, yeah. So don't tell me they do. They're human beings. They try to make it equitable or whatever. Kentucky plays a style. They're very, very handsy on defense. They just are. And they're not so much like go to the rim and get physical shot block. They're just handsy when you try to go by. So that style lends itself to that. And then the way Auburn plays, if you don't shoot a lot of threes, you're going to get to the line more.
Yeah.
And Kentucky was shooting a ton of threes, by the way.
And here's one thing, and we're going to get to a couple of super chats as well. Here's one thing that I saw that's just impossible. Okay. Owe is a very physical player. He's unbelievable, by the way. Mm-hmm. He was so impressive. But he had 4 fouls
with 7
like
to go in the game.
10 minutes left to go in the game. Mm-hmm. And was flawless, basically. I wonder sometimes if that's not in the back of the minds of referees. It's like, oh, we can't call the 5th foul on the star, or he's out of here. And then everybody's really going to think, something's up. So they may have even let some stuff slide there that they typically wouldn't. But, I mean, he played 10 – I felt like it was 10 minutes. Was it 10 – was it close to that?
It was, and he was guarding Hall a lot of the times on some ISO, and I don't know how he didn't pick up his 5th foul, and then Auburn went away from it. I mean, Auburn completely, with about 5 minutes to go, stopped going to his side, and I'm like, what is –
Get him out of the game. We were yelling it.
Yeah, I think he was guarding Hall even late in the game.
Yeah.
He was ISO'd on him. So, no.
He had that big – he swatted was it Overton right there at the end?
Right at the
one
end.
that swatted it, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. And we could break down film. So here's the thing. Again, you're killing it with your points tonight. People need to understand that if I say the officiating is bad, and I've made that comment multiple times, and listen, Kyle, it's not just in the SEC. It's bad across different leagues. The college basketball game, whether it's the Big 12, the Big East, the officials just don't look like they're keeping up with the speed of the game. So officiating is bad across the board. If I'm saying officiating's bad, I'm saying, like you, that it was bad consistently for both teams to be upset about it. If you go ask Stephen Pearl how he felt like that game was officiated in the first half, he should have gotten teed up. Now ask Mark Pope at the end of the game, and Mark Pope's upset with it. So I've heard both schools of thought. If both coaches are upset with the officiating, the officials are doing a good job.
There you go.
Or they suck really bad. And I think in this case, I'm with
awful. You there. You know,
it's awful. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's actually maybe it's not that it was equally good, it was just equally bad. And I just noticed it on both sides. A couple of super chats. Sad Mark Pope, which is a great name. UK fans or Alabama fans of the wannabe South. There are a lot of folks. I think the mindset of Kentucky basketball fans is pretty similar to Alabama football fans. I don't think that's necessarily unfair. Do you?
No, hey, there he is.
Hey, boys.
Zach, with the great looking hair. All right. I think that I've heard that analogy for years. I've heard the analogy. This is how I've heard it.
Yeah.
That I've heard a particular person being accused of being, hey, that guy's an Alabama football fan, a Kentucky basketball fan, and Zach, plug your ears, is a fan of the Cowboys or the Patriots. It's like that person that
the Lakers
and the Lakers and the Yankees. They're front runners, right? And you know, so that's but there's such tradition and heritage and blue blood status. I mean, I hate to say it, I'm just being honest with both programs, the Kentucky basketball program and the Alabama football program, that's the first analogy. That's the first commonality, is that, you know, that because of when you think of college basketball for the longest time, Kentucky is right there. And when you think of college football, Alabama's right there. Now, you can throw in different names that are right up there with them on the same platform, but that's probably why.
So I got a funny text, and this is from a good buddy of mine, like really like one of my closest friends. He's a Kentucky basketball fan. It's one of those scenarios where they're from Kentucky. The dad got probably a scholarship or whatever it is, in-state tuition to come be part of vet school. So he kind of adopted the Kentucky basketball part of that, but loves Auburn football. Anyway, he texted me right after the game. Like, this is so like what an Alabama football fan would say. But he's like, probably not a popular opinion, but don't think Auburn deserved to win that game. We weren't even in a conversation about it. It's just he just had to say that. And I love him for it.
You are going to go through a course of a season and win some games you probably shouldn't win. And you're also going to lose some games that you shouldn't lose. They somehow so if we're going to play that game, then let's go back and critique the games Auburn should have won. And I may know who that dude is, because I had a dude right in front of me that was wearing a Kentucky T-shirt and an Auburn ball cap, and he was
called this guy out too.
I did, because the whole game he was turning around, clapping in my face, being obnoxious when Kentucky would score, and then Auburn wins, and he takes his hat off and starts swinging it and sings War Eagle with the band. And I'm like, no, you can't do that.
So was he media?
No, he was sitting right in front of media. So, you know, there's that section right below the counter. Yeah. It was pretty interesting.
Zach, I want to get your response to this chat, because I think there's a lot of truth in it. all about the big win this weekend. It snapped a losing streak, kept tournament hopes alive, proved they can finally close a tight game. Big win, and big blue tears were shed. War Eagle. I think those first 3 points, I agree with every single one of them.
Definitely extends Auburn's season for sure. You go into it knowing it's a must win and you execute. You find a way to win the freaking basketball game. So, yes, 100% agree with that. I can't imagine anybody would push back a ton on that. And it changes how every game looks for the rest of the season. Maybe not Alabama. I don't think I'll pick Auburn to win in Tuscaloosa unless something drastically changes, which it certainly could. But these next 3 teams aren't good. And it's really easy for people to say, well, neither was Mississippi State. And it's like, well, like, I'm honestly okay chalking that one up to being an outlier because, a guy couldn't miss. Like, that was just one of the best performances of the season.
And then, of course, he couldn't make on Saturday. He couldn't make a bucket on Saturday. I had somebody text me after the Mississippi State game and said it felt like we lost that game twice. Like, it felt like we were 2-0 in that game because you got blown out and then you came back and then you lost it again right there at the end. It felt to me like we won that Kentucky game twice.
Amen. I said that me and Zach talked about that.
Yeah.
The old tapes could be playing in these players' heads where they go, oh no, not again. Battled back from a deficit, took a lead late, a 2-possession lead late within 2 minutes, blew that lead to come back down 4. This time Auburn didn't fold and let Kentucky get it to 8 or 9 like Mississippi State did. And, another good point is you did not want that Mississippi State loss to become 2 losses and let it have a residual effect and have a hangover Saturday and hang your head. And they could have easily done that, guys, when they blew that lead. This is why I'm saying this game and this outcome was bigger than just the final score. They injected belief. There was an emotional lift from this. Mentally, it was good for this basketball team. And they overcame some adversity that they could have easily folded and said, oh, no.
Well, and to that point, you talk about not having the Mississippi State game beat you twice. Like, I think during this streak, I think there was some emotional hangover from Tennessee. I think there was some emotional hangover from Alabama, from Vandy, certainly. So, it stopped a streak, I think, of that negative carryover that you're talking about, Daryl.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Is that a USA hockey jersey?
It is. It's my Micah Ruzioni from 1980 when we beat the Russians.
I tell you what, I don't care about hockey, and I really don't usually care about the Olympics, but something about that hockey game, man. Like, the way Canada people were talking about hockey.
We're so mad.
Man, I really don't like y'all right now.
Maple syrup and hockey is their biggest exports, and their fan base and Kentucky's fan base were simpatico this weekend. They had a lot in common. Salty tears and entitlement.
Where would you rank hockey as far as like how good we are at it as far as sport?
Well,
in the world, where would you put hockey?
We're second or third because of them allowing Olympians to play. I mean, NHL players to play. When it was just college kids and when it was an amateur thing, we were.
I don't think that's what he's asking though. He's asking like, as far as the sports we are good at, where does hockey rank?
You would say second.
So we'd be
best. No. Fourth
or fifth, maybe. Is that
not fifth? I think there's nothing as a team sport. We're better than we are at soccer. We're better
football,
at hockey,
basketball,
baseball, hockey. We're better at hockey than we are soccer. Yeah, absolutely.
So our 4th best sport, we beat them, and this is their best sport.
They're probably better at softball than we are hockey.
Yeah, no. Australia is really, really good at softball, so I would say
not better than us.
Yeah,
you're a communist?
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm socialist. Just joking. Italy. I think, yeah. Incredible.
That was the point. The point was not to argue over if we're
no. It's a great point. I think it's amazing to think that our 4th or 5th best sport that we won the gold. So
there's people talking about this.
I haven't seen anything about this.
Okay, all right. So
I have some insight on this. You guys aren't going to like it. You're not going to like it.
I'm not going to like it.
You're not going to like
Can you
what I
tell me
say
what
about
happened
this.
first? What
Okay,
people are
sad
talking
Mark
about?
Pope. Is Keyshawn's post-game body language overblown? Okay, so there was a video, and it was Taylor. I think it was Taylor's video, Taylor Corn. And after the game-winning shot, she went straight to Keyshawn Hall, and there was a lot of players around him. And I'm sorry, Keyshawn Murphy. And Keyshawn Hall was not a part of that. And that kind of was – I had it. People send it to me in DMs, and I saw it on Twitter. Everybody's celebrating, but Keyshawn Hall, he's not there. Now, that you may have some other insight, but I believe Keyshawn Hall immediately went and hugged Steven. Like he went, you can see them going to meet. Like, so he didn't go celebrate with the players. And I've had people confirm this. The reason he wasn't in that video is because –
Can you send me the video?
Yeah, I'll find it. The reason he didn't go do that is because he was hugging Steven like immediately. So you may have more information on that, and if so, I say share it.
I thought his body language was awfully strange that after the shot went in, there was no celebration from him. No celebratory, raise your hands, clap. He immediately ripped his jersey out of his shorts, untucked his jersey out of his shorts, walked away from his teammates, and went to the sideline. If he went to go hug Stephen Pearl, it's because I think Stephen Pearl intersected him at that point. But he did not, like when someone hits a game-winning shot like that, or when the game's, well, I guess it was anticlimactic because this wasn't after the buzzer beater. It was after Kentucky tried to score and the ball went out of bounds. So there's a little bit of context with that. I think you react differently in the moment if it's a walk-off. There were still 1.1 seconds. But he did, when the game was over, he looked more relieved, more kind of just ho-hum, and undid his jersey. Did you see that one, Kyle?
Yeah,
he undoes his jersey.
One. He does
and
do that.
He walks towards the sidelines, and then you lose him. I don't think he went over to Steven. I think Steven intercepted him. Okay. And I think with that lens too, and I hate to say it because I love the kid, if he's not a vital piece or component of the outcome or the dictation of that game, he gets frustrated.
But hasn't that been the assumption all along, though? Like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we're not talking about how it's like surprising. It's just
it's like I think
is it important or is it interesting?
Well, I think it's important because I think it's important from a chemistry standpoint because I think he wants to win. I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm not saying he's putting individual statistics and accolades above winning. I think he just really, really, really badly wants to be a part or a reason why they win.
He wants to be the MVP.
And when he's not, he gets a little bit body language slighted, looks a little bit frustrated. And so that's the difference, I think. And that's something that I know that Stephen Pearl has probably struggled with him and probably addressed.
I'll tell you what, though. Keyshawn Hall legacy game or Keyshawn Murphy legacy game.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Yeah. Absolutely. And to go to the question about Zach, where you think it's important or why is it interesting? I just don't want to see what happened happen again, where Steven doesn't like body language, tries to send a message, sits him. Then there's chemistry issues, flow, that kind of stuff. He's too important. And at some point during that game, guys, he became a rebounding machine. He wasn't scoring, but he was getting every stinking
and playing defense.
Yes, and playing defense. And I like that. I like that he's like, okay, the ball's not going in for me, so I'm going to try to find another way to contribute.
So believe it or not, he was 3 of 15 from the field, okay, which was terrible. That's not the part that's believe it or not. 3 of 15 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, only scored 10 points. But he was one of only 2 players that was plus and plus minus. So he was +6. Elijah Freeman was +10, but he played 27 minutes. And Hall played 37 minutes. So that just goes to show you the impact that he had. 9 rebounds, 7 assists. That's the crazy thing. He had 7 assists. So he had a
Murphy had 7 assists?
No, Hall did.
Hall had 7 assists.
And a lot of them were to Murphy, to be honest with you, because they were double teaming him at the free throw line to keep him from dribble drive penetration. He was throwing that lob over the top, and it was It was Katie barred the door.
I'm going to give him grace and just say he might have just been exhausted.
I'm sure he
Well,
was.
I'm not saying that what he did was anything outrageous. I'm just saying I see why people saw what they saw.
Yeah, in that
and
video.
were concerned about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he played the most minutes of anybody, 37. Todd played 35. Keyshawn Murphy only played 24 minutes.
Wow. You talk about efficiency rating.
25 points in 24 minutes.
Dude. What did Jovic have? 6
Nothing.
points?
5 points. He only played 16 minutes.
How many rebounds do you have?
1.
Oh. Ooh.
He's gone cold. He's gone cold the last.
Yeah, he has. He's got to step it up.
Yeah, definitely need him for sure. Anything else to say about the Kentucky game, or we can move on to the rest of the season? Because you got Oklahoma, LSU, then Ole Miss, or is it Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, or
Correct.
vice versa?
Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU.
I just know we play LSU at 9 p.m. We tip at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday.
That's getting a hotel room.
I am. I'm going to meet you guys for dinner. I'm going to send that text out later, Kyle. So you guys will have to accept the invitation, and then I'm just staying the night. I ain't driving back at midnight. Mm-mm.
So let me ask you this. I know basketball's
You
not.
could have stayed in my guest room, Daryl.
I didn't want to do that to you. You got 3 young kids.
So
they're up anyway. No, go ahead.
Basketball, it's not transitive. So, like, just because you beat Kentucky doesn't mean you're going to beat all the teams that aren't as good as Kentucky. But it makes you feel better as you go into this next 3-game stretch. I said it on the Barncast, and, I kind of felt Auburn would find a way to make it into the tournament anyway. But I felt like that may have punched the ticket because you think they handle business from here on out and win at least 2 out of the next 4, which should do it.
Yeah. So, yes, I agree with you. I think Auburn's in the tournament. They can't lose out, I don't think, but I do think they'll make the tournament. What's interesting about this team, it's so funny because we've kind of been on the negative side of this and the positive side of this, but more so the negative of you remember a team, and I don't love this about the sport. In fact, I've pushed back against it, but it is true. You remember teams by how they perform in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And this team ceiling is they can beat anyone. They ran Arkansas out of the gym. They went to Gainesville and won. They took care of Kentucky, like St. John's. Like they have the ability to play with anyone. They also have the ability to just totally plummet and play to their level of competition and get whooped and bodied and all of that. But it's going to be so funny to me if Auburn gets an 8 or a 9 seed or maybe a 7 seed, if depending on how they view Auburn. And if they somehow get through the first weekend, it's going to be the most wild thing. And I hope it happens, one, because I love these guys, and I'm always going to pull for Auburn. But the dancing and twisting from Auburn fans, from a select group of Auburn fans, if this happens, because it's not about like how you are every day; it's who you can beat, and Auburn's going to be able to beat. I'm not going to say they are, but they're going to have the ability to beat whoever they square up with in the tournament, whoever they draw, and. If Auburn's an 8 or a 9 seed, I would not want to draw them if I was the other team in the first round. So I'm interested by that for sure.
That's very intriguing because I believe the same thing, but I think they're only capable of beating opponents that were Sweet 16 or worse. Meaning the St. John's win, great win. Kentucky, Arkansas, North Carolina State. The only one of those, and then Florida, the only one of those teams I'd put that is Elite 8 potential is Florida, okay? St. John's, when they got to play teams that were like Elite 8 or Final 4 potential, they got absolutely boat raced.
Yeah.
Michigan, Purdue, Arizona. So I think that
what seed would they play in the second round if they were an 8 seed? So who does the 8-9 winner play?
You play one.
You play the 1.
And see, that's where I think they can get out of that first round. That's where you
can draw like an Iowa State, because they've been coming in as like the 1 seed. If you could win out and get the best 8 seed, you may.
That's why
get
getting a
chance
7 seed was so important.
Who does the 7 play? So 7 plays
play the 2.
10.
They plays the 2.
And they play
But
the 2.
a 2 in the regional is similar to a Florida.
Yeah.
Or even maybe a St. John's, the way St. John's is playing and how hot they've got. Maybe they could be a 3 or a 2 seed. But so
yeah, I don't think it's crazy that we get up for a game like that. I don't think that's crazy to say.
Yeah.
No, and I like Houston is somebody that Auburn could have beat them, missed 12 free throws. So I don't think there's any fear factor at all if they square up against them in the second round. But I just think like the Dukes and the Michigans and some of those teams that are really, really highly ranked, it's going to be tough. They did not play well against elite teams.
So right now we're 33 in net. No team in the top 40 has ever been left out of the tournament except for NC State in 2019, but they only played like 5 quad 1 games, and Auburn's played, as of right now, they've played 15. I think it's the most in the whole country.
And I don't think North Carolina State had the 5 quality wins that Auburn has on their resume right now.
No, I agree. So how far would, if you were to go 2-2, like let's just say you go 2-2, do you think that drops you out of the top 40 in net?
No, and it makes you me and Zach talked about this on the show last night. If Auburn goes 2-2, the rest of the way they're a 9 seed. If they go 3-1, I think they're an 8 seed, and if they win out, they can get to a 7 seed.
I just don't think the seed lines are going to move that much.
I do if in the regular season. I don't once the SEC tournament starts. But if Auburn was to reel off 5 in a row, because that's what it would be, including that win
with
over
2
Kentucky,
quad 1 wins.
With 2 quad 1 wins, they move from a 9 seed to a 7 seed easy.
Is Oklahoma, are they in the top 70? Yeah,
No.
Oklahoma would be.
Oh, they are?
They're 71. Is it top 75 or top 70 for a quad 1 game?
On the road?
On the road.
I'm not sure.
I'm not either.
I'm surprised.
On the one, it's 75. It's 75. So that could be a quad 1 win right there.
Really?
That could be a quad 1 opportunity right there on the road. So
That's
you could have,
right?
if you win out, that could, counting yesterday, that's 3 quad 1 wins that you'd have to close out the season.
Mm-hmm.
That might sneak you. That could sneak you up there. Now, it may sneak you up to me to be one of the higher 8 seeds and maybe not all the way to 7. Man, I'd love to get that 7 seed. That to me, that would be that'd be phenomenal. But yeah, I still think if you win 2 out of the next 4, you're safely in. You're probably going to be a 9,
right,
9-ish of the low end of the 9s. But things are looking pretty good unless you just have an epic collapse. And I don't think that's a crazy take. And that's kind of what we've been saying all along as far as the closing stretch goes.
1s and 2s lose all the time.
They
lose all the time. Why not? Why not?
Yep. Anything else to add to that other than Zach, do you want to weigh in on Mark Pope being
It's a very loser
sad
thing to do.
Live?
It's a very loser thing to do. He very clearly did that on purpose so people could hear him.
Yeah. And get around the fine.
Get around the fine. He wanted everybody to whine, hear him whining and complaining, and it's not a good look. Like you can, let the fans do that for you. You don't need to do that. You doing that helps you none.
I tell you what, though, I for him though, I kind of understand starting off your career 0-6 versus Alabama and Auburn at Kentucky, 0-2 versus Kentucky versus Auburn. Not ideal. Not an ideal start.
Not for a blue
I wonder
blood.
if they miss Calipari yet. Genuinely, I don't know.
And you got to think about it. You watched Auburn celebrate on your home court to clinch the SEC title last year. You know he's saltier than Planter's peanuts about that one.
Yep. Zach, you want to weigh in on baseball? Big weekend.
Incredible. I predicted the sweep after we got blasted 8-0 against Cincinnati. In the midweek, Lindsay looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, man, for whatever reason, this team under Butch Thompson, we are always really good in these types of events. And they were incredible this weekend. Starting pitching was electric.
Yeah.
Bristol Carter was freaking unbelievable. Bub Terrell had a really good weekend at the plate and on the base pass, which was kind of creative and unique, especially today. These guys can play. It looks really good. It probably looks better on paper than what it actually was because Auburn did get wins over 2 ranked opponents. FSU getting blasted by Nebraska today. I'm curious if FSU falls out, and then Louisville won't be ranked. And of course, we host Nebraska this weekend, so that'll be interesting. But I'm glad we played those 2 teams when they were ranked because I don't think they'll be ranked moving forward.
Do you feel like that's more indicative of what to expect out of this Auburn team than what you saw maybe to start the year? A little shaky at the plate, 3 out of their first 4 games.
Yeah, all these people that were so upset about our bats for the first 4 games of the season, like, chill out. Like, you can't judge a baseball team by the first 4 games of the season.
Yeah, they play a lot of games.
Absurd.
Now let's be honest about something, and Zach, you can vouch for this. The bats woke up, but let's not undersell where that tournament was played is a hitter's haven of a ballpark. And you know it because you've been in there with me watching a home run derby. That is a hitter-friendly ballpark. The ball jumps there. I'm not saying Plainsman Park's not, but I don't remember what the weather conditions were like against Youngstown State. It was nice and warm against Cincinnati. But playing indoors, the ball travels in Arlington in that stadium, and that may have a lot to do with the bats waking up a little bit.
What was the
guy?
guy?
I just think there's too many dudes in this lineup for them to be as quiet as they were that first weekend.
Is it Bingman or Bingham that hit his first and second home run?
That guy's electric. Freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to take somebody's job. He's great. Very, very good start.
Should be a fun team to watch again.
Too many bats, too many guys with ridiculous upside. It's going to work out. It's going to work out just fine.
I love it. Anything else to add? We're getting closer to spring practice.
Yeah, I just spring practice, man. I just want to add this. Full disclosure, last week, middle of the week, Zach and I had some conversation. I was a little bit discouraged about the state of this Auburn athletics program and the way it was trending. What a difference 5 days makes. What a difference 5 days makes.
Unbelievable.
And then you throw in there, we beat the Maple Syrup boys to get a gold.
Yeah.
Great.
Good weekend.
It's what sports they're all about, and what makes it so much fun. Just what made it so miserable last week. This morning was fun. It was fun on the heels of the Kentucky game, and then what Auburn did baseball, and then the gold medal. It's why we love sports and do what we do.
Amen.
Absolutely. Guys, I really appreciate you jumping in on a Sunday night. Thank y'all for in the chat. Thank everybody for listening. We'll be back again. You know where to find all the content at the barn. Subscribe, hit that alert bell. All the shows that we drop all week long, you'll be first in line. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and we'll talk again soon. War Eagle.